Okay, you'll need your highlighters out because there's quite a lot in this list once again. So the OUS at the end of some of these words is OS. And if you read down the bottom, it says OS to a word changes it to an adjective. Now, the next thing we've highlighted is the PH making the F sound. So we've written that down here too. PH for F usually indicates that the word is of Greek origin. And when you have a Y within a word, that also indicates that the word is usually of Greek origin. So we've got that in the middle of anaphylactic and physiotherapy and physique and mysterious. So quite a few of these words are of Greek origin. Now, don't forget the I before the os in all of these words because you need to hear it. It's anxious. Now, the XI, CI, TI, CI once again, are all representations of sh in the middle of a word because you know you can't use SH in the middle of a word for the sh sound. SH can only be used at the start or end of a short word such as shop or fish. Now the other things that we need to look at here is we've got IC, ick, at the end of a couple of words, and that changes a word to an adjective or a noun. Now the reason we're only putting a C there and not a CK is because it's a multisyllabic word and we've got a short vowel, so we just put a C rather than the CK. So do remember that one. AL, when it's added to words, if we add AL to the end of these words ending with C, it's going to form an adjective. So there's quite a lot in here. So here you've got physiotherapy, so you've got the Y making its it sound. Here you've got it making its long E sound. So the Y can be considered as a vowel and a consonant. It makes three vowel sounds. It can say it like in gym, it can say E like in happy, and it can say I, long I sound, as in my. So you're seeing a couple of them in these words. Now physique is an interesting one too. You know that after a Q you must always write a U, and because English words can't end with a U, we've put an E on the end there. So the colour blue, UE isn't a phonogram, it's a rule. The reason the E is there is because English words can't end in U, and they can't end in an I or a V or a J either. So just keep that in mind. So quite a lot within these lists for you to highlight to make the spelling easier for you. And then see if you can try to break them up into their syllables because that would also help you. Now let's go through and have a look at the meanings of these words. So anxious is a feeling when you're worried or nervous about something with an uncertain outcome. So it's a concern for something to happen. Delicious means a pleasant taste. Pretentious means attempting to be impressive by being showy and snobby. Ingenious means clever, original, and inventive. Mysterious means difficult to explain or understand. Conscientious means intent on doing one's best, acting in good conscience. Physique is a person's body or figure. Philanthropic means promoting the welfare of others, means you're very generous. Anaphylactic is a dangerous allergic reaction to something eaten or touched. And physiotherapy is the treatment of an injury by physical methods such as massage, heat, and exercise. There's quite a lot for you to highlight in these words. So you've got the OUS making the OS sound at the end of some words. So go through and highlight them in one colour. Change colours, and you've got the XI, CI, TI, CI again, making that sh sound in the middle of a word because we know we can only use SH at the start or end of a short word. So these are your options for the middle of words. Now there's some other things too. Do remember that the GE is making the G make its soft sound. You've got the Y in the middle of these words, mysterious, physique, and physiotherapy. So that tells us they're probably, and anaphylactic, they're probably old Greek words because That's common for many Greek words. Now, just the C after a short vowel is appropriate in words which have more than one syllable. So that's why you're not putting CK after that short vowel, just the C, because there is more than one syllable in those words. Now, the other thing to be aware of is you've got the Y for the long E sound at the end of a word, and don't forget this I before the os in many of these words too. So mysterios, so you can't get rid of that sound. It's needed within those words. So just going through and highlighting as much as you can in different colours will make you aware of some of the spelling patterns in these words and some of the tricks in there too. So in this section here, we want you to fill in the gap with the missing list word, write the list word that matches the definition. And now here you have to write a list word that is an adjective that matches the person described. So think carefully about this and maybe discuss it within your group. And don't forget to mark your answers off the marking code on the website when you finish. On this day 3, you simply need to cover these words and write them underneath. See if you've got them right. If you haven't, fix them up so they are correct. Down here we've got nouns and adjectives. Fill in the blanks. Now I've given you some hints here. With the adjectives, you're either going to be adding OUS, IC, IC, or AL. So they're the common endings that you'll need to change these nouns into adjectives. And some of them you're going to have to go from an adjective back to a noun. So you know by now, because you've done so much of this, to form an adverb, you commonly add ly, so a nice easy one for you. And then we want you to choose any 2 of those 4 to write into a sentence. 1 sentence for each word. Fill in the gap with the list word in its original form or change form. So you're going to have to work out whether you need it to be a noun, an adjective, a adverb or a verb, and use it in its correct form in the sentence. Today's activity is on punctuation and the use of commas. So we want you to list 3 reasons when and why we use commas, and you'll probably get a good idea from the activities on this page. So you may even want to do that last. So insert the missing commas. Now, in common usage today is to use the Oxford comma. So this is an example. We went to the movies with the twins, Sam and Tim. So that tells the reader that you're going to the movies with 4 people, 2 twins, Sam and Tim. Now, if you didn't put in this comma here, if you took that out, then it would mean that the twins, it would imply that the twins are called Sam and Tim, and that would mean that you're only going to the movies with 2 people. So it's important to use the Oxford comma if you need it, and it's become quite common in usage. So when you're making a list of things here, you're going to put in the comma before the and. That's standard practice now. So insert the missing commas here. So in this one we're linking a dependent clause to an independent clause to make the sentence. So the comma always goes after the dependent clause, and then we want you to write 2 more sentences here with the same structure. So start your sentence with a dependent clause and then put your comma in and then finish it with an independent clause. So insert the missing commas here. So this is an example of a parenthetical thought, which means it's part of the sentence that could be left out. We put a comma at the start and end of that part of the sentence. So our dog, an imitation Great Dane, so we could leave out all of that, scares some people. Our dog scares some people. So the part that we could leave out is this bit. So we put the comma before and after that. I suppose once upon a time people used to put brackets there, but now we just use a comma to indicate that that's just a bit of extra information we're adding for the reader. So we want you to try and use and do that. You write a sentence with parenthetical thought in it and put the commas either side of that extra information you've given. Now, moving on. A dash functions like a comma, but it is used for greater emphasis to show something surprising or a twist or contrary idea. So the athlete's ability was unparalleled, but he displayed poor sportsmanship. So notice how the dash shows a greater contrast, even disappointment, than a comma would. So rewrite the sentences, replacing the comma with the dash, and have a practice at reading it so that you're giving more emphasis to the parts of the sentence that need it.